When we deny our struggles, when we don't acknowledge our setbacks, we actually miss out on a lot of valuable lessons and growth opportunities. There is so much to learn from failure. Welcome to the VetRise Podcast. I'm your host, Juan Perez. My goal is to make success after service accessible to every veteran in society. I believe in the power of leveraging your service, not as a label that defines you, but as a launching pad for your next chapter. What we have been doing has not been working, and it's on us to start changing the culture. Enjoy the episode, and thank you for your time. All right, welcome back to another episode of the VetRise Podcast. Today, we're going to be tackling a topic that's bound to stir up some strong emotions. It's definitely going to give you, in the world of opinions, something to think about. And the reason why we're talking about this is because it is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. It is something that I think isn't talked about enough, because when we only think without taking action, it doesn't help anybody. There is a dark side of positive thinking. Now, we're going to be going over this. We're going to critique the culture of relentless positivity, and we're going to explore how it can sometimes lead to denial and inaction. We'll also discuss the importance of acknowledging those struggles and the setbacks that honestly help you foster real growth and resilience. Let's get into it. So, positive thinking has been a cornerstone of not just myself, but of self-help culture for decades. And we've all heard phrases like think positive and stay optimistic and look on the bright side. Well, listen, there's no denying that a positive outlook can be beneficial. It can help you, absolutely. There's a darker side, though, to this relentless positivity that we need to address. Like, it has to be talked about, because I don't think we do a good job of talking about it. And I want to talk to you guys about that today. Toxic positivity. This term refers specifically to the idea that keeping a positive mindset is only acceptable if it actually helps you handle the situations, regardless of how difficult or painful they may be. Toxic positivity dismisses real feelings and emotions in favor of a cheery outlook, thinking that everything will be all right. Well, if you don't do anything, it's not going to be all right. Like, you can't just hope that time makes things better. It doesn't work that way. You have to take action. You have to do something about it. And the only way that we do that is by having a different approach to it. We can't just hope that things are perfect. We can't just stay optimistic and think that everything's going to have a cheery outlook. It doesn't work that way. This approach can actually be pretty freaking damaging. When we deny our struggles, when we don't acknowledge our setbacks, we actually miss out on a lot of valuable lessons and growth opportunities. There is so much to learn from failure. There is so much to learn from when things don't go the way that you want them to. When we ignore negative emotions, it doesn't make them go away magically. In fact, it often causes them to fester and to grow and to come back stronger over time. And when we acknowledge our difficulties, when we actually look at them, we can address them head on. And we can actually work through them in a healthy way. It doesn't have to be all about ignoring the problems in life and just staying optimistic. It doesn't work that way. Now, research has shown that embracing a full range of emotions, anger, sadness, joy, love, everything, both positive and negative, is actually crucial for mental health. According to a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, individuals who accept their negative emotions without judgment, tend to experience fewer negative emotions overall and have better psychological health. Now let's break that down. Individuals who accept their negative emotions without judging those negative emotions and judging themselves, those individuals tend to experience fewer negative emotions and overall have a better psychological health. So how can we strike a balance between maintaining a positive outlook and acknowledging that we are going through something, that we have struggles? Well, here's a few strategies that I think can help you not just cope, but fucking master them. Number one, practice self-compassion. You should be willing to allow yourself to feel and express a whole range of emotions without judgment. Recognize that it's okay to not be okay all the time. It's going to happen. You have to acknowledge that. Don't judge yourself because of one moment. One moment does not knock you out of momentum. It's okay to not be okay all the time. Number two, seek support. Be willing to talk to friends, family, or a therapist about what you are currently going through. Sharing your struggles can provide actual relief and new perspectives, new ways of looking at it that you hadn't maybe thought about. It helps you detach from it. It helps you see it from a different point of view. And when we do that, we can think about a different way to attack the hill. Number three, reflect and learn. Take time. Take time to actually reflect on your setbacks and what you can learn from them. What does this failure teach you? What does not being able to make the team or get the job or end the relationship, what does it teach you? What can you learn from it? This is what helps you get that resilience that you so fucking want in your life. This is the thing that can actually lead to personal growth, to real self-help. Number four, set realistically unrealistic goals. What does that mean? It means I want you to focus on setting achievable goals, but goals that you didn't think you could achieve before. Push the needle forward. Push that goalpost farther and farther away from you because you actually can get there. They are achievable. And they should take into account both your strengths and limitations. What can you capitalize on? And what is the thing that's holding you back that you can actively work on to make sure that you actually do progress? Celebrate all of the progress, no matter how small. It is a freaking win. You see, relentless positivity, it can create this false sense of security, and it's actually going to prevent you from addressing the real issues in your life. It's important to strike a balance, and we have to acknowledge the full spectrum of human emotions. We are humans. We're going to have emotions. And by doing so, we can actually foster real self-help, genuine growth, and resilience. And we all know the power of resilience. When you are resilient, you can go through more in life, and it doesn't affect you the way that it used to. You have calloused the brain. You have calloused the mind. You have gained that muscular discipline throughout your body and in your decision-making process. And if you've ever felt pressure to be relentlessly positive, if you've ever experienced that negative effects of what toxic positivity looks like, where people are just always telling you that, be optimistic and on the bright side and this and that, I want you to know that, you're not alone. You can't just listen to all this self-help stuff without taking action on it. And I'm not saying don't listen to it. I'm just saying take into account all the other stuff that is going on and then do something about it. It's okay to feel frustrated, sad, or angry. We're humans. These emotions are a natural part of the human experience. And in fact, they're actually going to help you lead yourself to significant personal growth when you actually acknowledge them and you address them. You don't just ignore them. You have to. You have to acknowledge them and address them. And now, to be honest with you, in my opinion, one of the most significant issues with toxic positivity is that it can actually invalidate our experiences and feelings. When we are constantly told to just stay positive or look on the bright side, it can actually make us feel like our struggles are not important, or that our emotions are wrong, or that what we're going through doesn't matter, or that what we're feeling isn't real. And actually can lead you to feelings of isolation And honestly, it's going to increase your stress because we might feel like we are the only ones that are not struggling. How the fuck is it that everybody else is doing better than I am, but I'm not, right? That's why toxic positivity is an issue. You need to take action. Alex Hormozy said it best. He said that confidence doesn't come by yelling positive affirmations in the mirror. It comes from having an undeniable stack of evidence behind you that says that you actually did what you said you were going to do. You have to take action on stuff. That is how you create confidence. And when you build confidence, believe it or not, that positivity will be real and it'll start to manifest because you are in momentum and you keep going. And it doesn't last for a moment. That's why momentum keeps fucking going. And moreover, honestly, the culture of relentless positivity can also create unrealistic expectations. And I do mean unrealistic. When I think of the word unrealistic, I like to tell people to be unrealistic, right? And what I mean by that is that I want them to have goals that are so fucking large that they never thought they could achieve them because, believe it or not, they can. But life is not always going to be perfect. And we are not always going to be happy. Expecting constant positivity can actually set us up for disappointment when things inevitably go wrong, because they're going to go wrong. It can also honestly lead to a lack of preparedness for dealing with challenges and setbacks because we might not have developed the necessary coping skills because we've been ignoring them. We've been suppressing the feelings. We've been putting them on the back burner. All right, let's stop for a minute. This is the part of the episode where I ask you to do me a favor. But it's not a favor for me. It's a favor for your fellow brothers and sisters that served with you. If you know someone that has been struggling, if you know someone that has been going through it right now, and you know that they want better for their life, they just don't know how to do it, please share this episode with them. It might just be exactly what they need. That's it. That's my only ask. If you want to subscribe, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Back to the episode. I want you guys to stay positive, but I want you guys to also be human, be real, deal with your shit, journal, make changes. When something bad happens, address it, deal with it, face it head on, lean into it, and make changes. Make fucking changes. Now, let's consider the impact of toxic positivity in the workplace, right? Now, many workplaces encourage you to have a positive attitude, which can be beneficial for morale and teamwork in the long run, sure. However, when positivity is forced or it's inauthentic, it can become counterproductive. In fact, your team, other people, your coworkers, employees, the morale of the company, they might actually feel pressure to hide their struggles or pretend that everything is okay. And they don't talk about the issues that are actually happening. And it leads to burnout. And honestly, it leads to decreased productivity. We have to be honest with ourselves in the workplace as well. Address the problems and face them head on. And then do something about them. Now, there's a study published in the Harvard Business Review. Researchers found that workplaces that prioritize authentic emotional expression, real emotional expression, and actually provide support for employees' well-being tend to have higher employee satisfaction and productivity. So when you actually deal with your emotions and you talk about them and you look at the problem and you actually dissect it and you detach from it, you are going to feel satisfied because something was done, which in turn will want to make you more productive, right? And when employees, when your team, when your people, when you actually feel safe to express your true feelings and you actually receive support, guess what? They're more likely to stay engaged and motivated. They're going to keep trying. They're not going to quit when things get hard because they're not going to feel like they don't have any support. They have the support. And this same principle applies to our personal lives. Like this applies to you individually. You have to create environments around yourself where you actually feel safe to express your true feelings and receive support from others. You cannot just stay positive when you are in a bad place because people don't know what you are going through and you are giving off a persona of something that isn't real. And to get back to the positive, When you are in a negative, you need to do something, right? Because a negative plus a positive might equal a positive in the real world. But like, you are a human being, you're going to experience a lot of negative emotions. And we need to address them. Now, this can be particularly important for veterans. Why? Well, you've experienced a lot of trauma. And that pressure to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and to stay strong, to be positive and be tough, it's honestly overwhelming. And it might even prevent you from getting the help that you need, from going to the VA, from talking about your problems, from getting therapy. And you might be one of the people that is constantly talking about this and making other people feel like they can't actually talk about their problems. You ask me how I'm doing, I will tell you the best day ever, always. And it's not a positive mindset. It's that I am manifesting it, but I'm also doing something about it. Like, I'm waking up in the morning and I'm telling myself today is going to be the best day ever. And then I do things to make sure that it happens that way. Every day for me is the best day ever because I do something every freaking day to make sure it is. I hop in my ice barrel first thing in the morning for 3 minutes. I do my training. I get my workout in. I go to the sauna for 20 minutes. Right there, I've already had the best day ever. No matter what life throws at me, I'm going to be all right. And if life does throw something at me, and I have to be a human being, because guess what? We're humans. I am too. We all are. I'm going to deal with my emotions. I'm going to work through it. I'm going to journal. I'm going to talk about it. Now, what are some actual practical ninja steps that we can take to avoid just the toxic positivity and promote a healthier, more balanced approach to our emotions that we deal with? Number one, acknowledge and accept all emotions. There's a wide range of them, right? And it's important we recognize them. They're all valid. All emotions are valid. And instead of trying to push away negative feelings, allow yourself to experience them. Allow yourself to go through them. This doesn't mean dwelling on it. It doesn't mean just dwelling on the negativity, but rather acknowledging it as a natural part of life. Number two, practice mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. See, mindfulness techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, going for a freaking walk, going for a hike, turning the TV off, being in silence. These things can actually help you stay present and fully experience your emotions without judgment. And this can help lead to a greater emotional resilience, believe it or not, and a better understanding of yourself. Like, who better to understand what you are going through than you? Number three, develop healthy coping mechanisms, because we're going to cope. But how are you going to cope? What are you going to do about it? Find things in your life, find activities that actually help you process your emotions in a healthy way. It doesn't mean drinking. It doesn't mean sleeping all day. It doesn't mean self-sabotage. It doesn't mean you buy freaking 3 bid mats and stuff your face. It doesn't mean that. It can actually be exercise, journaling, creative endeavors that you might want to go after, or even spending time in nature. Healthy coping mechanisms can provide an outlet for your feelings and actually help you move through the difficult times. Number four, build a support system. Build a support system. We don't rise to the occasion. We fall to our systems. Surround yourself consistently with people who understand you and support you, because they're out there. And you might feel like they're not, but I fucking promise you they are. This could be friends. It could be family. It could be a support group. And by the way, if you're not part of the Vet Tribe, go join the Vet Tribe. It's my private Facebook group for everyone and anyone that wants to join that is a veteran. It's called the Vet Tribe. Go look it up, ask to join, answer the questions. I will let you in. It is a freaking healthy place for veterans. We don't do the shit talking in there. And you should have a network of people who you can actually talk about your struggles. And this is going to help. It's going to make a big difference in how you cope with challenges. You won't have to fucking hide. Number five, seek professional help. I've done it, and it works wonders. Now, if you're struggling to manage your emotions on your own, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't hesitate to seek help from a therapist or a counselor, or go to the VA. Professional support can actually provide you with tools and strategies to better understand and manage your emotions. It's not about them doing the work for you. It's about they're going to help you focus on what you actually need to do. What work is important. Another aspect of addressing toxic positivity is changing the way that we talk to ourselves and others. What language do we use? Instead of using phrases that dismiss or invalidate feelings, try using language for yourself and for others that actually acknowledges and supports emotional experiences. For example, instead of saying, just stay positive, try telling yourself or try saying to others, like, it's okay to feel upset right now. How can I support you? What can I do to be there for you? What can you do to be there for yourself? It's also crucial to recognize that being realistic and acknowledging challenges doesn't mean you're being negative. It means that you're actually addressing the issues. It means you're actually paying attention. Because if you just try and stay positive and you put your blinders on and you ignore your feelings and the problems and the things that you're going through, you're not going to address them. They're going to keep piling up. And before you know it, to your left and to your right of you, you are going to have all this shit that you didn't deal with. It's about finding a balance and being honest with ourselves about what we're going through. This approach, it can actually lead you to have a more sustainable and long-lasting positivity because it's rooted in reality rather than denial. We don't want to deny our feelings. So in the long run, avoiding toxic positivity and remaining truly positive by doing something when negative things happen and embracing a more balanced approach can lead to greater emotional resilience. And that's what we want. We want to build that emotional resilience. We become stronger. We become more capable of handling whatever life throws at you. This resilience is what allows us to truly thrive in the face of adversity. This is the reason why we can do better when others can't. This is the reason why we can take on challenges when other people are too afraid to. It's not about just staying positive all the time. It's about understanding that when negative things happen and we address them, we can keep ourselves in momentum. It doesn't knock us out of momentum. It's not the end. I promise you. Now, as we wrap up our episode today, I encourage each and every one of you to reflect on your own experiences with positivity. Have you ever felt pressure to be relentlessly positive where you can't talk about your feelings? How did it make you feel? What steps can you take right now to create a more balanced approach to your emotions and actually deal with them and talk about them and then do something about them when that negativity arises? Because it's going to arise. It's going to come up for you. When it rains, it doesn't pour. It just rains. And then you can decide, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to deal with your emotions? Are you going to face the adversity? Are you going to find a way through this? Or are you going to just try and remain positive without addressing what's actually happening in front of you? Remember, true resilience comes from facing our challenges head on. Not from pretending they don't exist. Not from telling yourself that everything will be okay and not dealing with it. It comes from you facing those challenges. I want you guys to stay freaking relentless in your pursuit of life. Always. Thank you for your time. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the VetRise Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, made you think, or simply gave you hope, I have a small favor to ask. Share it with just one veteran or someone you think could benefit from my message. Your share could light a spark for them. You don't know who you might save. For more insights and to join our mission, follow my socials at JP, the Veteran Coach, and explore how we can rise together. Thank you for joining us, for being part of this journey, and for believing in the power of rising together. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep rising, and never forget that we are stronger together. My name is Juan Perez, and thank you for your time.